What's up, weirdos? Shadetree Surgeon here on the Rocket 3. I love that. See, the whole thing goes sideways when you move it. Even while you're moving down the road. Oh, 2,300 cc's in a line. That's a lot of metal moving, all right? Anyway, I'm headed up to Tampa Triumph today, and we're doing something a little bit different. You see, I've been meaning to go up to Tampa Triumph. A lot of people have been asking me to test ride the new Triumph, stuff like the Triumph Tiger. I've still never ridden on the Triumph Bobber, even though I've talked all this crap about it. I've still never actually test rode one. I could go up there and I could test ride all these bikes, because Tampa Triumph is really, really cool about letting people test ride their bikes. They're just like Harley Davidson. Pretty much anybody can walk in there and you can test ride almost any bike on the showroom floor. Something tells me they might not let you test ride the Turbo Thruxton, but pretty much anything. Yeah, I can't speak for all Triumph dealerships, but I know Tampa Triumph is really good about that. Like I said, I haven't test rode any of these new Triumphs yet, even though I'm a huge Triumph fan, but that's not why I'm headed up there today. Even though test riding a bunch of Triumphs would probably be really good for analytics, and test riding a new Tiger would get awesome views, I'm going up there because I want to do something a little more realistic. You see, they don't even know why I'm coming up there today. I'm completely going to surprise them with this one, so I hope it actually works. You see, while test riding brand new bikes is all well and good and fun and super cool, you're talking about bikes that are pretty darn expensive. Even a cheap new motorcycle is pretty expensive. So I'm actually going up here to look at something and test ride things that maybe would appeal a little bit more to my audience. Basically, what I want to do is, you guys who watch these videos, you watch all these motorcycle channels test ride all these fancy new bikes that cost like $25,000 freaking dollars. Hey, I'm guilty of it myself. But what I want to do is go up there, and if they're on the lot, because they have used bikes there, I want to find 5 bikes for under $5,000. I didn't check their inventory. I didn't call ahead. I'm just got my fingers crossed that I can roll up there and find 5 motorcycles for under $5 grand. The idea being is that I want to show you that you can get on a good bike for about $100 a month. For $100 a month, you can get on a good motorcycle. You know, these dealerships, they finance used bikes, especially places like Tampa Triumph. They do a lot of trade-ins. They usually have a lot of good bikes in the lot. Again, I'm taking a chance here, and if I can't find 5 bikes under $5 grand, I'll be honest, and I'll just show what they do have. But that's what I'm banking on. For no other reason than 5 bikes under $5,000 sounds like a cool title. But again, a lot of you guys who don't have motorcycles, who watch my videos and other videos here on YouTube, you might get discouraged thinking that you have to buy a brand new bike. Or you go like, oh, what $20,000 bike am I going to choose from? Or I can't ever get a bike because I can't afford a $450 a month payment, or whatever it would cost to get a very expensive motorcycle plus insurance. I'm telling you, if you want to ride and you can get on a bike for $100 a month. Maybe not exactly $100 a month, maybe a couple bucks more, maybe a little bit less. I'm telling you, I'm going to go up to Tampa Triumph and I'm going to show you as many motorcycles as I can, or at least 5, whichever one comes first, that you could possibly get on for about $100 a month. See you guys there. And here we are, Tampa Triumph. All right, boys. All right, up here at Tampa Triumph, and before we test ride any bikes, we had to come back here and see Yamagang himself, the master tech here at Triumph. And you guys know he used to work at Yamaha, but now he works at Triumph, and their service department is kicking ass now. But he's getting ready for something big. He's getting ready to take in the old Rocket 3 and give it 240 horsepower kit, and he's getting some practice. Check out what he's got on his bench right now. If you guys ever wanted to see what this thing looks like on the inside, the cavernous, like hello, hello.
Put shaft out of the back where it comes out.
Holy moly. It's got a big old spring on it. Dude, when you're talking like 100+ foot-pounds of torque, man, you need something like that. This is wild, dude. That's the bottom of the case.
It's large and in charge.
Yeah, dude, too big to be allowed. Anyway, he's getting some good practice, and we're going to build the fastest Rocket 3 in Tampa. All right, guys, back in the showroom outside of the shop with Dylan. Hanging out with my man KJ here, hanging out with Bobby and Don. And like I said, today what we're going to do is we're going to show you that you can get on a motorcycle for $100 to $150 a month. Now, I said 5 motorcycles under 5 grand, but I'm going to have a little wiggle room there. We've got a couple that are around 5 grand, but basically I've talked to KJ and I said, you know what, show me motorcycles that you can get on for about $150 a month, $100 to $150 a month. That's what I want to see. And again, you see my man KJ here, and this is no BS. They didn't know I was coming here to ask this. That's why not every bike is under $5,000. Like I said previously in the video, I cold called these guys. I just showed up here. They didn't know that I was doing this. I said, show me what you have right this second, because I want it to be basically like, if anybody comes up here at any time, they know they're going to be able to find a bike for a decent deal. I've personally bought multiple motorcycles from KJ, so this isn't me blowing any kind of smoke. These guys treat me right, and if you come up here and you tell them Shadetree Surgeon sent you, they'll treat you right too. So I would have been test riding this one too. This is a brand new America LT with the windshield and the bags. Guess what? For $5,000. But surprise, surprise, this thing is sold. Although KJ said they are getting a couple more in. All right, first bike up, a Triumph Street Twin. This is a 900cc motorcycle. And again, like I said, I don't think we're going to hit exactly the $5,000 mark. So I kind of had to adjust that and ask KJ, like, basically keep me right around $150 a month if they finance the bike. And he said, this is a good one. It is a Triumph. That means it's been through their service department. It's got some exhaust on it and some handlebars and stuff like that. This isn't really my style. It's kind of like the whole cafe racer thing, but it's a lot of people's style, and these Street Twins are badass bikes. So let's just take this thing for a rip and see what $150 a month gets you. I think he said this one's going for right around or right under $6,500 for this bike. Damn, with 5,000 miles on it. I mean, I don't know, dude. 5,000 miles. This thing is basically brand new. Those 900s sound so freaking cool, too. Again, the Clubman bars, they aren't my thing, but a lot of people love them. Oh, man, if you can't immediately giggle like a little girl every time you get on a new motorcycle, you're doing it wrong, baby. Especially one that sounds as cool as this. You know, I'll actually say these Clubman bars are not really as uncomfortable as I thought they would be. I always look at bikes with these things on them, I'm just like, nah, there's no way. That thing's gonna be a nightmare to ride around. But it's not bad at all. I'm always surprised by how much power these little Street Twins have. I mean, it ain't gonna set the world on fire, but this thing moves. It moves, and it sounds cool. It feels like it moves with me on it too, and it feels like it handles fine with me on it. And I ain't exactly a ballerina, boys. All right, I'm a full-grown man. I weigh 270 pounds, and this thing is handling my fat ass just fine. So, especially, I feel like big guys worry about that all the time. They're like, I'm going to look stupid on this, or this bike's going to be slow with me on it. Well, one big guy to another. If you're a big dude watching this, trust me, you'll be just fine. All right, that's enough on this Street Twin. Although, man, I could ride this thing all day. I actually really like these motorcycles. Even with these Clubmans on it, and I am Mr. Anti-Cafe Racer. Even with these on it, I really like this bike. All right, what's up next? Let's do something different. In the spirit of doing something different, now we're going to do this Ninja 1000. Now, the Ninja 1000, it is a fast bike. It is a sport bike. Technically, I think with the bags, we'll go ahead and call this one a sport touring bike. But if you guys are fans of YouTube, you'll remember a very famous Ninja 1000 on Salt the Wound's channel that he just ripped wheelies on all the frickin' time. So this is a powerful bike, and KJ tells me this one's sitting at right at around $6,000. So, like I said, 100 to 150 bucks a month. This is not only a nice bike and a fast bike, but you could go across the country on this thing. Salt the Wound went on all sorts of trips. He went super far. He rode it all over the freaking place. Put tens of thousands of miles on it. It's got a great windshield. It's got bags, so you can haul ass. You can ride it to the tail of the dragon, haul ass on the tail of the dragon, camp out with all your bags, and ride back home in comfort. Let's see what, you know, about 100, 150 bucks, $6,000. Let's see what it gets you. It does have some miles on it. It's got 22,000 miles, but you know, it's a Kawasaki, man. These things freaking run. Oh man, that stock exhaust. After riding around that Triumph with those loud pipes, I got used to something sounding cool, sounding rough and throaty. A lot of guys prefer the 4-cylinder sound, but I'm a twin man myself, or a triple, of course. I love my Rocket 3. Yeah, this thing is no slouch, boy. Let me tell you. This is a leader bike, and it behaves like one. Now, this is a lot of bike for the price. Yeah, this thing is no joke, boy. Sport tourer with an emphasis on sport. Although, dude, this is comfortable. I could ride this thing all freaking day. It really reminds me a lot of my Ducati Multistrada, which the Multistrada, technically, you're supposed to be able to take it off-road. I'm not ever taking that thing off-road. It is a sport tourer, not an adventure bike. Although, you can have an adventure on any bike. And so, yeah, you could call this an adventure bike. Oh, yeah, this is way comfortable. Comfortable and fast, that's what I like. Some guys like to be uncomfortable and really fast. I'd rather be comfortable and fast, personally. I mean, yeah, this thing is pretty quiet with the stock pipes on it, but, man, if I was going to use this as a touring bike, I don't even know if I'd put exhaust on it, because if you're crushing big miles on one of these things, you don't necessarily want a really loud exhaust because it gets old real fast. And right now, this thing is perfect. It doesn't vibrate. It's not loud. I mean, this would be an awesome touring bike. And like I always say, like I use my Multistrada, an awesome touring bike makes an awesome commuter bike. So if you want something that's going to get like 40-some miles a gallon and raise your heart rate every day when you ride to work, and you got room for rain gear and all your stuff and everything like that, that's what I really like about one of these. Like, this would be a great bike to ride every single day. Again, $6,000, man. You ain't gotta be a millionaire. You ain't gotta have a shit ton of money in the bank. For $6,000, you might not even have a vehicle at all. Like, this is, to me, especially if you live somewhere you can ride year-round, like Florida, Texas, California, and plenty of other places, having something like this is a better option than a car, in my opinion. Especially if you don't have a lot of money. Like, how much is a car payment? You're going to pay for a car and car insurance? You're going to be murdering yourself when you can get something like this for peanuts, man. Less than you spend on cigarettes if you smoke. All right, next up, maybe you don't want sport touring, you just want sport. So we're going to do a 2014 Triumph Street Triple. 2,200 miles, 6,500 bucks. Yeah, we're pretty familiar with this bike. If you watch the channel, you'll know that. Oh, nice. It's the RS version too. It's got the upgraded brakes, the nice suspension. This is a lot of bike for 6,500 bucks, man. Yeah, the Street Triple, man. As you guys know, we're pretty familiar with this one because this is the bike that Jessica has. What an absolutely iconic motorcycle. Just totally defines a class. And for 6,500 bucks, for, again, like I said, I told KJ, keep me right at around $150. For 6,500 bucks, you are getting a hell of a motorcycle, you know. This ain't going to be a touring bike like the other one I was just on, but for around town, this thing is an absolute ripper. And I'm test riding a bike, so I'm not going to do it. But let me tell you, as anybody who's ever ridden these things can say, it's an absolute wheelie machine as well. Like I said, there's not a whole lot to say about this bike, especially for me, because we own one, so I couldn't recommend it more. I don't know if I'd necessarily totally recommend it for beginners, even though it has a very entry-level price. This bike has 2,200 miles on it, by the way. 2,200 miles for $6,500. And like I said, I might not recommend it for a beginner, but if you haven't ridden motorcycles before, if you're buying your first motorcycle and you are a full-grown man, if you're a full-grown man or woman and you have a good head on your shoulders, I don't think that this is a terrible bike to start on. Now, if you're an idiot, you can definitely get yourself into a lot of trouble on this motorcycle because it is not slow. But, you know, if you're a grown-up, I don't see why you couldn't start on this bike at all. Even with stock exhaust, just that intake sound is so cool. Also, from experience, let me tell you, they sound absolutely brutal with nice exhaust on them. Next up, you don't have to go to a Harley-Davidson dealership to buy a Harley-Davidson. This is the Harley-Davidson 750 Street Rod. So this is the street, but this is the Street Rod, which is the top of the line street rod you can buy. It's got the nice brakes, inverted suspension in the front, piggyback shocks in the rear. You guys who are familiar with this bike will know that this is what our friend Backroad Moto, now going under a different channel name, the Ballantine Collection, that's his bike. This is what he rides. I don't think these pegs are stock. Looks like somebody put some nice pegs on it, but it's got a stock exhaust. It's a pretty much completely stock motorcycle. But again, this bike, $6,000. $6,000 you can get on this bike and ride out the door. Again, but between 100 and 150 bucks a month, you can get this street and be out the door. Now, I know a lot of people hate on V-Rods, but I actually like V-Rods, and that makes me kind of like this bike because it's almost like a mini V-Rod, you know, and I guess that's why they call it the Street Rod. Oh man, I really just thought of that right now. Man, I'm a freaking moron. And actually, this thing actually feels pretty sporty, man. It's got the mid controls. I'm a little cramped on it, so I would say if you're over 6 feet tall, your knees might be a little bit high, but it's not unbearable. But I would definitely say that this is probably this would be a great motorcycle for somebody who is a little bit shorter. Oh yeah, my knees are bent with my foot on the ground. This would definitely be a good choice for a short person. It's a little cramped for me. Yeah, people make awesome flat track bikes out of these too. I know there's like absolutely a ton of aftermarket support for the Street Series. And again, $6,000, dude. You can ride a Harley-Davidson. Basically a brand new Harley-Davidson. Oh, with that stock exhaust, it is definitely like sewing machine quiet, but these things sound pretty badass with a set of pipes on them. This is my first time riding a street, by the way. I've never been on one of these things. Like I said, this is Backroad's bike. No, I've met Backroad. We hung out in California, so he's like 5'7", so I imagine this is a pretty good bike for him. Probably not the bike I would choose, but it's still a cool motorcycle for $6,000. If you gotta have a Harley, and like I said, it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not saying that this is a shitty bike, but if I was gonna, it handles good though. I like that. If it was my money, I'd probably go for the Street Cup that I test rode earlier for 500 bucks more. But this is still good, man. I like it, and it's a Harley. Once you put exhaust on it, you can't deny that Harley sound. Although the Harley purists will say, no, actually, it's water-cooled, so it's not a Harley. But hey, you can't please everybody, right?
All right, so I didn't test ride every single bike that I wanted to because I still work for a living and I got to get to work. I ran out of time. Good times here at Tampa Triumph. Huge thanks to them. Come and see them because these guys will take care of you. Ty there on the phone. Let me get my finger pointed up right. This is hard. All right, there we go. Ty on the phone, he'll take care of you. KJ will take care of you. Like I said, this isn't BS. I've bought multiple motorcycles from KJ at this dealership. These are good people. I'm about to hop on the bike. I'll explain a little more there.
Yeah, I gotta head into work. I wanted to test ride more, but hey, I said I'd be honest. So no, I didn't test any bikes that were actually under $5,000. I didn't even test ride 5 bikes, but This is the Shadetree Surgeon channel. This isn't TV, all right? Not everything goes according to plan. I still think I test rode some good bikes that are good options for somebody who doesn't have a lot of money, who is maybe looking for their first bike, or maybe looking to get back into motorcycles after having not been in them for a while, or maybe it just needs transportation and getting a car is just way too expensive compared to getting a bike. Like I said, insurance for motorcycles is nothing, at least in Florida. I pay to insure all my motorcycles like $800 a year. So you put that on top of $100 to $150 payment, you are not doing bad for everyday transportation. Now, I know a lot of you guys watching this right now are going, holy shit, Shadetree Surgeon, you are just sucking Tampa Triumph's dick. You're just freaking gobbling their cock right now. What's up with that? Are you sponsored by them? Did they pay you to make this video? The answer to that is no. They did not pay me to make this video. In fact, they offered to. They offered to pay me to make this video, and I declined because I don't, and not because I don't like them. I love those guys. They're great guys, but I don't want money involved when I make these videos because I don't want to have to hold any of my opinions back. I don't want to have to change what I'm going to say. I want to be able to be fair and balanced and say what I think, not what they want me to say. Not that they would probably really try to control what I say anyway, but I just feel like keeping money out of it is for the best, in my opinion. Now, the reason I made this video is exactly the reason I said earlier, because there are so many people out there who think that they can't get into bikes, who think that having a motorcycle is just this unattainable goal, and it's not. You can get one. And yeah, you know, you might have to finance it, and I know a lot of people are against financing bikes, but if you can buy cash, awesome. If you can't, there's no reason that you shouldn't ride. I've financed plenty of bikes. Trust me, plenty of used bikes. Again, a lot of people are against it. They're like, pay cash for everything, never get into debt. But you know what? It's just, if you want to get on a motorcycle, it's not exactly the most realistic option for everybody out there. I'm sorry. And I want to see people on motorcycles. Dude, my whole life revolves around bikes. I do motorcycles literally 7 days a week. And I want to see more people on motorcycles, not less people, because you see all these cars out here? I don't know, man. Every ass that gets on a motorcycle, that's one more of us and one less of them. You don't have to buy a brand new bike to get on two wheels. So if you're local here in Tampa, call up Tampa Triumph, talk to KJ, talk to Ty, talk to one of those guys. And even if they don't have a bike right then, what you're looking for, even if they don't have the motorcycle that you want, tell them what you're looking for. Tell them what your price range is and have them start looking for you. They will find you a bike. And again, this isn't, I'm not paid. This is unpaid. This is strictly from a sense that I've dealt with these guys before. I've bought motorcycles from Tampa Triumph, and I know that if you go there, they're going to treat you right, especially if you say that Shadetree Surgeon sent you. So go up there, check them out, test ride some bikes, have a free beer. They do have them there. Until next time, y'all, keep it weird. Whoa, buddy. People like to run you over, wouldn't they? I always am like, should I like freak out and yell? Is that what people want to see when someone almost hits you? They want to see you like freak out, point in their window and say you want to kill them? I don't know, man. I just, staying calm has always served me better. Anyway, for real this time, keep it weird, y'all.